It's the British Cimarron without the racism. Cavalcade won Best Picture of the Year for 1933 in the 6th Academy Awards, which were held in March of 1934. It also won Best Director, Frank Lloyd. It also won Best Art Direction, William S. Sterling. This film was a historical epic. Like I said about Cimarron, it was very similar to Cimarron in that it was about a history as like a landscape. Here's this family in one spot, but the actual landscape of history is moving, but the family just stays put. History is passing them by, and this film's history covers 1900 through 1933. The place is England, and this family is the Marriott. They are a WASP family, a white Anglo-Saxon Protestant family, rich white people living in England. And the movie covers many historical topics such as the Boer War, the Titanic sinking, and World War I, as well as the Roaring Twenties and cultural changes on all that. Supporting characters in this film are also the servants that work for the Marriotts. So this film was already reminding me a bit of the TV show Downton Abbey, which returns for a 4th season Sunday, January 5th. On PBS, that is. If you're British, then you've already watched it. I have trouble watching movies like this, which focuses on central characters and history just passes them by to the point where I feel like the characters really get bogged down by the history that passes them by. It's one of the things I didn't like about the movie Cimarron. It's one of the things I didn't like about a movie that came out much more recently, actually last August. If you've heard of the movie Lee Daniels' The Butler, same idea. This butler that worked in the White House and it follows his life, but it felt like the movie just exists to show how civil rights advance over time. It didn't really get much in the character development, and that's how I felt here, only worse. Literally, if you took these characters out of the film would play out exactly the same. Except then it would just look like a highlight reel of 33 years of history, 1900 to present time 1933. I didn't care about the characters. I didn't feel there was any character development in this film. I don't understand why Diana Wynyard was nominated. It must have been like a really weak year for actresses. And this film just wasn't that good. It felt like a self-serving project by Fox Film Corporation, who produced this film. A statement saying, "Oh, look how big and important this film is. Look how great we are in putting this film together. Look, it has so much meaning and it's so epic." It's really not. Trust me, if you watch this film right now, you're gonna be like, Best Picture, what? This film is boring. And the only reason I finished this was just so I can make this review, because I said I was going to make this review, and I did make this review, because I had to sit through this entire movie. And it wasn't even available on DVD, it wasn't available on streaming. I had to watch it, a crappy quality version on YouTube, which was split up into like over 10 parts, 10 minutes each. And I was dreading and reluctantly clicking every time 10 minutes was finished and I had to go on to the next video to watch the next 10 minutes. It was a dread. I didn't like clicking. I just wanted to stop. But that wouldn't make me a good reviewer if I was reviewing a movie I didn't see all the way through. Then I wouldn't have seen the entire movie. It just wouldn't be right. So I put up with this just so I can bring this video to you. And let me just tell you, this movie did not deserve to win Best Picture. It didn't. You know who I think deserved to win Best Picture? A Farewell to Arms, that movie that I reviewed about Gary Cooper and Helen Hayes experiencing World War I and trying to carry out their relationship despite the tensions of World War I and the tensions of being in the military, directed by Frank Borsage. That movie was good. This wasn't. This wasn't that good. This was not enjoyable. This wasn't great. This wasn't the picture of a generation, as Fox put as the slogan of this movie on their poster. Seriously, I'm so glad movie studios stopped doing that for their posters. It's annoying because then you have this high expectation for a movie and it just falls flat. You know how they say sugarcoating? This was syrup. It was just syrup and it was cheesy. The actors were overacting a lot. It just felt like there's no character moments, and over time the British accents just felt more and more fake. Like, if I wondered how many of these actors were actually American. And I'm sure some of them weren't. I'm sure some of those British accents were genuine, but the acting was such that I couldn't believe it. I didn't believe it. I didn't buy it. I didn't buy into this movie. And this movie did not deserve to win Best Picture. It didn't. I'm just going to say it right there. In fact, I'm going to go so far as to give it 1 star. I was considering 2, but I'm giving it 1. Why? Because it's just not enjoyable. I mean, I'm looking on IMDb, I look on Rotten Tomatoes, and I see what other people are writing, and they say, oh yeah, this is one of the best films of the 20th century, this is great for its time. I'm like, why? What did you like about this film? I don't get it. I almost wonder if they're just giving it a break because it was so old. Trust me, I've seen better films than this from this time period. There's no excuse. I personally do not recommend seeing the movie Cavalcade. It's just a meh movie. It's forgettable. There's nothing good about it. There's nothing big, important. The only reason it survived the test of time was because it won Best Picture. That's the only reason. If it didn't win Best Picture, it would have gone to obscure places. It's amazing that I even found it on YouTube. It's amazing I was able to watch this at all because it's pretty hard to find. So, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.